Welcome to the table. If you want not just unboxings, but to actually learn something about the most iconic and rare cards, whack that subscribe and like button below, follow on Instagram, and welcome to the familia. If not, glad you're here with us, Timmy. Well, you're still here with us, Timmy. Today, I have an incredible video for you where we're going to be unboxing one of the rarest cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! History. We're going to do a legit check on it live, and I'm going to give you the story behind its release. What card is it? The true first print of Seiyaryu from 1998. Here we go. Special thanks to Dr. Crazy Chemist, by the way, on Instagram for selling this card to me. Check out his page. He has some incredible vintage stuff and is one of the OGs in the collecting world, at least in my opinion. Whoa. Okay, I'm gonna take this sleeve off. Man, the colors are super vibrant, like in person. And I don't know if this is gonna come off on camera, but this is a super bright, like highlighter yellow at the bottom. It's really cool looking. I actually never thought I'd hold one of these, even as a 6. This is a very expensive card, and I've only seen less than 5 real copies. Fun fact, Seiyaryu is the Japanese name for the card. If you translate that to English, it actually means Holy Night Dragon. All right, so it's slabbed. Does that mean it's authentic? Absolutely not, unfortunately. There have been quite a few fakes from the 1998 Konami set that slipped past grading companies. So I'm gonna show you how to authenticate it live with me right now. And the first thing we're gonna check is for white dots inside of this blue name text. So I'm gonna bring you in here. Okay, you see those little white dots inside the blue name text right here? That is a great indicator that this is an authentic card, okay? That's not the only thing we're gonna check though. Second, we're gonna flip over the card and we're gonna check the ink pattern on the back around the Yu-Gi-Oh! Text. So let's go ahead, I'm gonna bring you in. And that is what we are seeing here on the back. Now, there are a few different patterns on these cards, ink patterns that is, for the authentic versions. And this is one of those patterns. It almost looks like squares with little spikes sticking out of them, if you can see what I mean. I'm gonna try to just zoom out and focus a little bit more. Let's zoom in. And there we go. So that does look like it checks out to me. All right, now third, we're flipped over to the front and we're gonna check the ink pattern down here in the left corner, where you should see a very nice, clean, crisp ink pattern. Now, I do have a fake right here on hand, Blue Eyes White Dragon from 1998, that is slabbed. So this was one of the ones that passed through on accident. I bought this, I got screwed on it. It is what it is. I'm not showing these numbers because I don't want the original seller, who might not have known, to get any heat. But we're gonna zoom in. Let's first take a look at the Seiyaryu pattern. Now, again, a few different cards look a few different ways. So the pattern on the Seiyaryu is the square spike pattern, kind of like on the back. Looks like the same pattern for this card. On the Blue Eyes White Dragon, on the fake, you'll notice, and you can see, you know, again, very clear, very crisp pattern. On the fake Blue Eyes, we're gonna move it over to the Blue Eyes. You can see how grainy it is. There's no clear pattern of any type. And if we come up here to the name text, there's no white dots in the blue name text, and sliding back over to the Seiyaryu, you're gonna see the white dots in the name text. So this does pass the authentication check, thankfully. Now, the story. So why is this so rare and expensive, and how did someone get it? Well, you may know that Bandai began making Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards first in 1998 with Generation 1 on April 4th, 1998, but featured different monster artwork than what you're used to seeing on traditional Konami cards. But not many people realize that Konami also made their first cards in 1998 as well. So the companies were making Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards at pretty much the same time, actually. Now, there were only 3 ways to get Konami cards in 1998, and that was to either buy Yu-Gi-Oh! Breed and Battle, the PlayStation game, released on July 23rd, where you get 3 out of 10 random cards from the game's designated set, or to buy the Duel Monsters 1 Game Boy video game, released December 16th, where, again, you'd get 3 random cards out of a 10-card set designated to that game. Those two games had different 10-card sets. The third way, which is how someone would get this card, and the only way to get this card, was attending a pre-release experience for Duel Monsters 1, and they also had a pre-release experience for Breed and Battle. The Breed and Battle promotional card was a Blue Eyes White Dragon missing the not for sale box. Seiyaryu was not featured in the game's 10-card set you could get by purchasing the game. The only way to get this card was being invited to the pre-release event. What isn't clear is the exact date the pre-release events were held on, what the location in Japan was, and who was invited to the events. What we do know is Yu-Gi-Oh! Never had video games before these two. It had a very limited fan base at the time, and just going off how rare it is to see real copies of this come up on the market, we know very few were made. If you have any of those details I'm missing, please let me know in the comments below. And yes, this label does say Breed and Battle and should say Duel Monsters 1. I don't blame BGS for that. There's very little information out there on these. Hopefully I can get that corrected with BGS, or maybe submit it to a different grading service such as SGC for possibly even a better grade. All right, everyone. I hope you learned something. Let me know what you would do about the grading down below, and I hope to see you again, either on Instagram or right here on YouTube. Ciao, mia familia.